Hello and welcome to this week's JK Film Review. We're back with another video. We just want to both say before we start a massive thank you to everyone who's been watching on Facebook, YouTube. It's been really fantastic to get, 250 views in 3 days. Amazing. So keep sharing with your friends, family. Fantastic. This week we have just seen the Imitation game. With Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm a massive fan of his. You're not so much, are you? So your expectations were, as a result, not
quite as lofty as yours.
Yeah.
Like I said to you before the film, I feel like he sometimes plays the same character.
Yeah.
And I think we got a slight indication of this by the end of this film.
I mean, I went in with quite high expectations, actually.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer looked fantastic. Interesting director and a good-looking cast. Like, what can really go so wrong, but seems to have gone absolutely horrendously.
Yeah, I found it very underwhelming in every sense.
Yeah, but there are a few things that we could pick out as positives.
A few positive takeaways.
One of the main things being Keira Knightley.
Yeah, Keira Knightley kind of much maligned, I think, in the press and by the media.
People just don't like her.
And by the public, I think people have got annoyed with her.
Yeah, I don't really know why. There's
her jaw jutting and everything like that. They don't like it. I think she's really good in this. Probably the standout performance for me.
I definitely agree with that.
And I think she is better for the fact that she's not the centerpiece of it. She is better in a more supporting role.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't focus on her unrelentingly.
Yeah.
And I think that's often what irritates people about her, is that she's almost on screen too much.
Yeah, I mean, there might be someone who's on screen a bit too much this time, and it's sadly Benedict Cumberbatch. Although he does have a few really quality moments.
I don't think it's a bad performance. I think he suffers more from the material that he's given rather than himself.
There's that great moment at the end where he's just...
he only shows his emotion.
Yeah, he gets his chance to actually emotionally break down, and you see the kind of... You feel like he's been... We both said, you feel like he's been holding back the whole way through.
It's a shame once you've seen the whole film that you don't see more of the kind of talent and flair that he shows in the last 10 minutes.
He's clearly got talent.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
I don't... But as I said, I think he's quite good. I just think he's given limited resources to work with.
Yeah.
Put it that way, by the scripting and the direction in particular.
We should pick out, though, that little moment of there's a little boy who plays the younger Alan Turing. Yeah. Although he's unbearably annoying throughout his scenes, there's one little moment where he's told that his best friend has just... Well, his lover, effectively, has just died. And there's this wonderful kind of twitching in his left eye.
I know, you didn't like him much. I thought the scenes of Flashback were problematic rather than him. I thought he actually gave quite a positive performance in that role, because it's quite difficult. It's a much easier role for someone like Benedict Cumberbatch, who's played Sherlock, who's quite a similar... Yeah,
I mean, we touched on it last week, child actors.
Yeah.
There's
always certain kind of do's and don'ts, but I think he's quite good. And that's the most believable, emotional connection of the film, I think. The connection between the two boys and the friendship.
And there's not many of those. There really aren't.
No, the relationships built up in the film are quite weak. You never really feel much empathy with any of the characters. Yeah. I didn't feel it anyway.
No, I mean, you'd think going into this, with Benedict Cumberbatch, the star that he is, playing this kind of incredible man who kind of changed the world, really. You'd think you're really going to come out of it going, wow, like, he gives a standout performance, like, I'm going to look up Alan Turing. But we were both looking up Alan Turing for the wrong reasons, because we had no real idea of who he actually was.
The first thing I said after coming out was that it was a bit like a BBC documentary drama that you might see on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. And be kind of perfectly content with watching. You'd be like, well, you know, obviously this isn't going to light up the world, but I've learned a bit about someone I've never heard of before.
What's really incredible is how is the story, for one.
Yeah.
The story is incredible.
Unbelievable.
The story of the man is really amazing, and he's had an amazing life, particularly as he dies so young.
Yeah, and what they achieve.
Yeah, and what they achieve, of course, is so integral in the ending of the war. But I feel like the director and the writer have taken out all of the tension, the emotion, the drama of the entire story.
Yeah. I mean, this is our massive problem with it. That there was no value. Yeah, there's nothing where you think, oh my god, this might happen or this might happen. It's just kind of trudges along on this kind of fairly slow pace, and you think, God, like I sort of know exactly what's coming next. And
they're very navigated plot turns, aren't they? You feel like the cogs are working in a very conventional way, with all the character relationships, how the story develops, the set piece scenes, if you like.
Yeah.
There are some scenes which are truly horrific to watch, including most of them in the first half an hour of the film.
I'd say the first 45 minutes. I mean, I was really kind of thinking, wow, like, feel free to kind of start
getting serious. I think the entire cinema around us was laughing.
Yeah,
they thought it was hilarious, but it was just not funny at all. It's a shame that such great material hasn't been utilised in the kind of most wise and effective way. This should be a thrilling story of people helping to end the war, and there's no thrill. You're never on the edge of your seat during the film, which is a shame. In one sense, and also, yeah, it's a waste.
Yeah, it's a waste of such a
story
that could have been made into such a fantastic film.
Yeah.
But I mean, we both said that they miss out on this huge kind of point in Turing's life that we feel would make his character more watchable and give, as a result, Cumberbatch far more to work with.
That was
the fact that he's constantly challenging. Rather facing this tussle with his sexuality.
Yeah, and that's the most interesting part about the human story, and it's not tackled at all in the film.
Not at all.
It's so minimal. Its commitment to looking at his homosexuality that it's almost. I don't know.
Maybe it's slightly insulting. Actually, yeah, you might even go as far as this. I reckon if you're because he. Now knowing that he was gay, I mean, he's a bit of an icon then for the kind of the gay community. Like someone so unbelievably
in a society so opposed to homosexuality.
Yeah.
Like he kills himself in the end after being put on these drugs rather than going to prison for his homosexuality,
which we don't see though, which I thought was a problem. It's just the other. It's sort of revealed in a kind of post. The ending of the film, it's one of those kind of lines at the end. I don't really know what you call those.
Yeah, the kind of the words that come on screen to describe what happens after the filming ends, with a strange montage of people throwing things into fires. It was very weakly ended, and just as the interesting part of the story was kind of starting, you wanted to see more. In a character-based story, you want to see more of the character than you do in this film.
Yeah, it was like this kind of. There's also the thing that. They're breaking this code.
Yeah.
But there's no sense of real kind of...
The meaning of it, really.
Yeah. There's no... You don't get a sense of how important it actually is. I mean, there's one line from Mark Strong, which is quite deep, where he says, 3 people have died as a result of Enigma during this conversation. But apart from that, you get no real sense of how important it is to actually...
No, you just see them going, oh, damn, can't believe I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Just over and over again.
No!
It's so obviously acted and put together. Every little turn and nuance of it is kind of diminished by the kind of conventionality of all of the film. It's so conventional that it becomes so mundane by the end and takes all the life out of this incredible story of this man battling with his sexuality and at the same time simultaneously saving Britain and defeating the Nazis. Yeah. It's such an exciting, should be such an uplifting tale. Obviously not in the end, but that part of the story should be so uplifting, and it really just isn't.
It's not, you don't come out of it feeling inspired in any way at all.
No.
It's not, and you should be. You should think, what a great man. I mean...
You do think, what a great man.
Yeah, no, that's true. But that being said, I don't feel like I've learnt anything about him at all. I knew from the trailer that he was going to break the code, and I knew from just literally Googling him. It takes 2 seconds to find out that he's the guy who broke Enigma through this machine. But there's no insight into who Alan Turing actually is.
No.
And I think that's not the fault of the actors, but it's the fault of the script.
The script is so poor.
It's just like writing a dialogue of a person, and that's about it. And it's not a dialogue, I mean biography of a person.
And as I said afterwards, there were so many scenes that all of the characters gave these theatre lines, like these bombastic kind of, wow, like defining lines of humanity. It's like they thought they were kind of weird philosophers, and then there's this one recurring line throughout the film, which is so odd and
I've forgotten it already.
Makes so little sense about kind of how hidden people do the incredible things in life.
It's so kind of... It's like a trailer film. I feel like the whole film is almost summed up in that trailer.
Yeah.
Because then you've got those epic lines, which are always in trailers. And you kind of think, oh, there'll be some more deeper dialogue throughout. But there isn't any, because someone's constantly kind of has to put their foot down and go, no, I'm going to make this bold statement.
The other interesting thing that the film focuses on in a strange way is this... the Soviet spy kind of aspect of it, which seems so unnecessary and is so kind of brushed under the carpet eventually with a montage, as always, going back through what actually happened.
It's a horrendous montage.
Yeah, such a horrendous
just
montage.
A guy just suddenly starts posting these pieces
just
of
lots
paper.
Of posts going around.
Yeah,
just like,
he's just posting information to Stalin, apparently. Just like Turing posts a message to Churchill and becomes head of the programme.
And one of the things we were saying about that is it seemed so matter-of-fact that you don't really believe that it was true. And actually the truth is that Churchill did step in and put Turing in charge of this team. And you don't really feel that that was a kind of monumental moment coming out of the film because it's so brushed over so quickly and feels fake.
Yeah.
The fakeness of the film is really
There's like this constant kind of facade up, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, you feel like it's kind of... the moment it takes away, you feel like it's scared and it has to put its cover back on. It's scared to actually let out the true story.
Yeah.
It's like it's hiding something constantly, you know?
Yeah. And it has very little sweetness as well. I think that's one of the main issues with it. There's one kind of sweet, slightly creepy scene with Matthew Good trying to chat up this girl.
I quite like that.
That was quite cute.
That was quite nice.
And there's one really great scene at the end where you finally get to see some emotion out of Keira Knightley and Benedict Cumberbatch. But other than that, it's really devoid of feeling and humanity, really.
Yeah, there's no... I mean, where Interstellar kind of pulls at all your different, like, emotional...
Yeah, to the point of corniness, this does almost the opposite.
Yeah, it doesn't at all.
Yeah. And it's the kind of thing that really should.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, and it's just a massive disappointment, but yet a film that somehow seems like it still might get...
In the Oscar picture?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's nearly good enough, personally.
Well, I hope not. But I think he'll get his foot in the door just for being who he is. Probably get a nod. Hopefully he doesn't win, because it's not very good.
Yeah. I think it will obviously be related and talked about in terms of The Theory of Everything, the film about Stephen Hawking, which we'll see in the next kind of couple of months, I think, with Eddie Redmayne. And it will be obviously compared and contrasted to that. And I have a feeling that will just come out on top.
Yeah, that's very much possible. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say, because it's just so...
I would personally just say I would recommend looking up Alan Turing and his achievements in his life more than I would.
I'd rather read a book about Alan Turing than watch that.
That's harsh criticism.
That's hard. For me, that's really harsh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's really that.
Yeah, the main point is that it's just fairly uninteresting and just doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything for you, really. Yeah, hopefully the next one's better.
Yeah. So obviously there's going to be a small break from us. I'm having my tonsils taken out on Tuesday. Exciting stuff. And we will be back in about 10 days, should we say?
Sounds like it.
With maybe the Hunger Games, which might be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, at least we'll have something to talk about.
But yeah, so keep sharing the video with your friends, etc. This one and Interstellar, I'll put it up on the Facebook page, and also You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, the whole shebang. Thank you again, sir. Wonderful to have you.
Thanks for having me again.
Regular guest now. Thank you, guys.
Why was that funny? I'm ready at all. Oh, man.
Why would it have... Hello? We actually got it.
That was less funny.